Hey everybody, Cave Dweller here. Hanging in the cave again. What I'm going to do this evening I should say, is 22-250. I got 93 pieces of it here. I've had it for a long time. The rifle I think I bought 24 years ago. The brass I bought at the same time. I'm still shooting it. It's right at time. If you ever watched my annealing video or one I did on a Lee die yesterday, this one I neck size it only twice. When I need the third one, it's usually length is time to trim it back. When it's time to trim it back, I go ahead and I re-anneal it and then load it up from scratch. This one's only been loaded twice. Annealed one time, loaded another time. It's at SAMI, just about at SAMI maximum length. I can load it one more time, no pressure problems, no issues. But for the sake of the video, we're going to do it this time. I'm going to show you. We're going to trim it back. We're going to anneal it, load it from beginning to end. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Tools especially, how I use them. There's a lot of different manufacturers making a lot of different equipment. I think most of it's really good, does a good job. It's how much you want to spend in it, what kind of quality you want. You buy good stuff. I'm a firm believer. It'll last you the rest of your life. Your kids will get it. It'll last the rest of their life. I'm going to pull the camera up. We're going to start. Forester precision case trimmer. We're going to cut them back down to minimum length. Come on along. All right, here we got on the case trimmer. I'm going to show you how the adjustments work. The shaft, that you control your depth of cut, you use this collar right here. Notice there's a set screw right there. That actually locks the collar to the shaft. These other two, whoops, this one going through that way, if you can see that right there, is a hardened tool bit, or a hardened set screw, hardened tool steel, whatever. Very difficult to do any wearing on it. That we use to make very fine adjustments for our overall length once we get it set. This one here will lock that one in place so there's no movement. And we put the little handle on. This is, the shell is held in place by a collet. Kind of like that Lee die I showed you the other day. 4 cuts in it. The bevel on the collet itself, riding in the bevel of the adjustment, squeezes that together. You notice, if you can see that, there's 4, oh, get in front of the camera. There's 4 different steps in there. The smallest one will take my 22 Hornet, 17 Hornet. The next one up is the 222, the 223. The third one is what I call the 473 bolt face, your 22, 250, 308, 270, just about all of your really common long action, and it locks it in place. Notice you don't have to knock the primers out yet because there's a hole in the middle of it. It's riding strictly on the rim. The face of this is pushed on the inside up tight here. It does not go back and forward. It just squeezes it together, releases it, squeezes it, releases it. How we do the set on it. These are all caliber, not caliber, but diameter specific. You got to have a 22 caliber pilot to do 22. This one, 1 inch 912 thousandths is overall SAMI spec. You trim back 10 thousandths. We're going to trim it back to 1.902. The way you do that, this one is about 9.899. I'm just going to hold it up semi-snug. And my hands are probably in the way. You can't see what I'm doing. We're going to lock the collar down on the shaft. And that's not going to do any cutting. So we come around to, I've already got this one loosened up. Oh boy, it's right in the way. Now, the hardened tool steel one that does our length of adjustment, we're going to start threading that out just a hair bit at a time. We're only going 8/1000ths, 9/1000ths of an inch. And you just start trimming. Miniature little turning lathe. That's way too lucky. 1.902. You just trimmed our very first case. Okay, everything is the right length. I wish I could do everything first time that easy. We're going to lock that set screw in place. We're just going to start trimming dies. I put it on the pilot itself, get it in place, lock down the collet. You can see the shine there. Probably getting too close, losing our focus. "94 more of them, I'll be done with this step." Last thing you want to do, or maybe not the last thing, maybe the first thing, but sometime or another, you want to give it some oil on both the shaft and the face where that hardened screw rides for your adjustment. You don't want to wear things out. Hey, a little tip, you ever have Visine? Your eyeballs are burning, you know somebody that uses this stuff. Empty bottle, you pop the top out, wash it out with water, dry it. You know, Visine's not a squirt bottle, it's a drip bottle. Makes fantastic little oil bottles. That's worth 50 cents for a tip there, hey folks? I'll get this done, we'll show you the next part. Okay, once you get them all trimmed to length, they got a flat end on them, they got a burr on the inside, a burr on the outside, and that needs to be removed. That is done with simply a deburring tool. This one is RCBS. It's made for them by Wilson, another manufacturer of really good equipment. It's nothing more. A twist or two on the inside, flip it around, twist or two on the outside, you take off the burr, you take off the burr. Beveled on the inside, and the outside is obvious going in your gun, you don't want anything on there. The bevel on the inside, it's like a funnel. When you start seating the bullets on there, it's like a funnel. If you got a square edge on there, a burr or something, you scab, scar, whatever, the base, the heel of your bullet, the side of the bullet, the bearing surface, that thing goes smoking down the barrel 2,500 to 4,000 feet per second, depending on what you're shooting. Where do you think that scarred up bullet's going to go? You definitely need, every time I bevel the inside of my casings. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Last 10 years or so, I think it's just the point they can manufacture stuff that works so damn much better. There's been a real push on power equipment that does a lot of this stuff I'm doing right now. If I was still 25 years old, I'd probably be inclined to get into that, knowing how many times I have done this in the last 30 some odd years. I don't think I've ever suffered from carpal tunnel, but if it's ever going to happen, it's from doing this right here. It is kind of tedious, but you know, you can take a break from it, walk away from it. I'm only doing 93. I think I can get her done. Let me finish this up. I'll show you one next step. Okay, last segment for tonight. Last thing we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to anneal brass. Sometimes you can see the marks from about here on up where they've been discolored. Looks like they've been hot. That's exactly what they've been, hot. When brass is made, it's work hardened. It's very, very rigid. To go into the loading process from the factory, they are annealed to soften it up so they can work the neck, do what they need to do. I'm going to do it the old easy way. I seen this jig one time. By the way, I have a video on showing you how to do this with a 4570, a lot more detailed than what I'm going to show you here today. Deep dish socket. This one happens to be a 1/2 inch. Takes 22/250 perfect. 243 is your 308s. Nothing more than a 1/4 inch bolt dropped in there. Nut screwed on tight. Bingo. In the old electric drill. Annealing is a process. Heating it up. Not hot. Red hot. The magic is about 700 degrees. You'll change and then dropped right into the water. You do that with steel, it makes it brittle. You can break it really easy. Brass has the exact opposite effect. It's going to soften it. You want to be careful with this. This gets red, you ruined it. You want to go, you can watch this brass. I don't know if it's going to show up in the camera, but what I call ghosting colors. You'll see a gray, a bluish purple starting to work into there. Bam, in the brass it goes. That's simple. Play with your heat till you get down. You know, you don't need to sit there for 5, 10, 15 seconds. It should not take long. The steel is going to protect that much of that casing. You do not want this getting hot. You ruined it. That has to stay hard and rigid to maintain that pressure, to hold the pressure. You want the front so you can work it. You can hear them sizzle when they hit the water. They're hot. Obviously, the drill keeps the heat distributed very, very, very evenly. Another 90 or so, I'll be done with this. Obviously, it's going to take overnight for them to dry. So, good evening. We'll see you another day. Thanks for watching.